We, who they accuse us of being anthropomorphic, are actually the most stubborn people against anthropomorphism. We reject the concept of resembling, saying that Allah resembles His creation in any way, shape, or form. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. There's nothing like Allah. We deny this kind of comparison between Allah and His creation. But yet we affirm what Allah chose to use as words. And we affirm what the Prophet ﷺ chose to use as words. Because we are the most sound people. We have the most sound fitrah with the most sound intellect by Allah. By Allah. Allah has blessed us by His mercy and kindness and generosity and gentleness. Allah has blessed us by being the people with the most sound intellect and the most sound natural disposition. And by Allah, everyone and anyone else who negates or who falls into any of the categorization or the deviation of the Ashaira and the Jahmiyyah and the Mu'tazila and the Maturidiyah is a person whose both IQ and his fitrah have been compromised. They have been compromised. And the only way they reinforce for themselves intelligence is by delving into ilmul kalam, which is another aspect of deviation, by becoming philosophically speculative about matters of theology. So in order to make up for their lack of intellect in submitting to the text, they try to sound articulate and intelligent by only regurgitating nonsensical, retorted, philosophical principles that Plato and Aristotle put in place for the people. All while we are sitting on the sideline, observing and watching and having a great time, all we need is a popcorn. Butterless, healthy, protein-based popcorn. Watching these guys go around in circles, jumping through hoops, trying to make sense out of things that will never make sense. They come to a text that says something and they tell you, no, no, no. You cannot say Allah has a hand. A'udhu billah, brother. Astaghfirullah, brother. Did you just say Allah has a hand? No, it means the power of Allah. The power of Allah. So when Allah told Iblis, what prevented you from prostrating to the one I created with my two hands? That means the two powers of Allah. So Allah has two powers. You think Allah couldn't have said قدرتي لمن خلقت بقدرتي, the one I created with my ability? You don't think Allah has the ability to say that? بقوتي, with my power. They will deny what Allah said, and they will deny what the Prophet ﷺ said. And they think that they are the ones who are saving Aqidah, and they are the ones who, because of them, you're able to give da'wah to Jews and Christians and atheists and Hindus, because according to them, the pure, orthodox, literal Salafi Aqidah is insufficient, is not flexible enough to be able to argue with atheists and philosophers. And all these are lies by Allah. Because the prophets and the messengers, who were the best scholars to Islam, did not have to do that either. It was very simple, man. Ya qawmi ibudullah ma lakum min ilahin ghayru. Oh my people, worship Allah, you have no other gods but Him. They weren't sitting there talking about the cause and effect and the originator of this and all that and whatever they call them, all these different philosophical principles. They didn't have to engage in any of that. It was a very simple matter. Either you're going to submit to Allah or you're going to waffle. And a lot of people just want to waffle. And there is within the spectrum of the theology of Ahl-Sunnah wal Jama'ah, there is a reason and logic that we can engage at a particular level as in line with the Quran and the Sunnah, using the same arguments provided in the Quran and the Sunnah. Knock yourself out. Do you need anything beyond that? La wallah. Do you need 0.1% information beyond the Quran and the Sunnah? La wallah, you don't need. And as soon as you incorporate it and you import it from outside into Islam, you are mixing the pure creed with poison, and you shall be poisoned, and you shall poison the mind of the one whom you're giving da'wah to. So all of you are a big L. Bam. And you will suffer for the rest of your life because you will never be able to submit to the text. That's why Al-Imam Al-Ash'ari himself repented from his Jahmi beliefs the first time around, the Mu'tazili, and then he repented from his own Ash'ari beliefs the second time around before he died. And he authored a book to refute his own previous inventions that the people still follow today after he himself repented from them. If that is not paradoxical, then I don't know what is. How? The man himself said, nah man, I was tripping. Yo, people, I was wild. I'm a Salafi, bro. I'm gonna go tooth and nail with Ahl-Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Here's my book, Al-Ibana. I'm done. And people are like, oh yeah, well, forget you, man. You repented? Well, we don't care. What did you believe before? We're gonna believe in it, and we are going to proudly call ourselves Asharis. We're still going to ascribe ourselves to you. Ya majaneen. Ya majaneen fil aql. Naming yourself, dividing the ummah. Allah prohibited us from using names, prohibited us from dividing the ummah, prohibited us from finding honor in other than the way of the Prophet ﷺ. And there are the Ash'aris and the Maturidis proudly calling themselves by a name, referred to a man who came hundreds of years after the Prophet ﷺ, and they want to claim that they are upon the truth. It reminds me of the joke that they made against the Shia. That a Shi'i and a Sunni had a debate. And then the man told him, he said, I don't like the Shia because it was said that they used to steal people's sandals from the masjid at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. So the Shi'i told him, man, what are you talking about, man? There were no Shia. There was no Shia back at the time of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. He said, exactly. Thank you. And that was the end of it. And that was the end of the discussion. Hello? Anybody there? Choo-choo? Fahmt? The Ash'ari, you could say the same thing. You could refute all of these people in like 4 sentences. And it's game over. It's game over. We don't even have to say anything beyond that. And these people have the nerve and the audacity to say that we are deviants and they are the rightly guided ones. إلى الله المشتكى ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله.